Hello everybody, welcome to a very quick video. We're going to go over what seems to be, first of all, initial impressions. Shocker is getting a buff, which is good news. We're going to look over a few other things right now. So I've just finished recording the MCN and I was waiting for Kabam to kind of like throw this out to kind of like announce stuff when it comes to Sandman and Shocker. But balance update to Shocker and Sandman. Link in the description if you want to see this, or on the forums if I forget to put it in the description, but I've got to get to bed in a minute. Any case, balance team here again, blah, 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 blah. Shocker entered the contest aimed at Battlegrounds and War. I gotta be honest, I've seen probably one Shocker last season, and Alliance War, haven't seen it yet. But that could be because, well, I don't know, there may be reasons for that one. Armed with a massive heavy attack and his ability to never crit, he was intended to be able to thrive in variety of matchups, except for crit me with your best shot. No. At the moment, Shocker only reaches his potential versus certain mutant targets, and he fails short outside of that. For that reason, we have decided to give Shocker a tune-up. Hey, that's good. The goal of Shocker's tune-up is for his damage to be stronger and more viable over a wider variety of defenders in Battlegrounds, which would be good. On top of damage, we will be looking at making some quality of life improvements in his kit. Ooh, okay, interesting. Additionally, we'll be adding a stack limit of 1 to his cowardice in his synergy with Spider-Man. Okay, the synergy is more powerful than we had intended it to be and want it to remain valuable, but not to be as game-changing. I mean, that is the thing. I guess it's the thing, like, people are probably using the champion more on offensive. Maybe that's the reason I haven't been seeing the champion that much in Battlegrounds. It's been used as a... Well, no, I haven't been seeing it in Battlegrounds. Last season I barely saw it, but maybe it's because of the meta. Maybe it's the case that it was in, I don't know, used more in one particular... Well, I don't know. As I said, I haven't seen it. If I haven't seen it, then, you know, I don't see it being used that much. But Kabam is obviously seeing it being used. Overall, we think that Shocker will be stronger than ever and be more capable of dealing with a wider range of matchups. In the modes, we want him to be the most fearsome. So, okay, they want him to be more fearsome in War and Battlegrounds. But then that's annoying, isn't it? Because a lot of the time you're like, I really want to use this champion in this particular content, and maybe you find a way. Like, maybe there's a synergy out there that makes Shocker more interesting for the likes of incursions, and we're getting a buff to incursions. Maybe it's a champion that a lot of players use, I don't know, an event quest. Maybe it's a champion that that's helpful to be used in Act 8.2 and the story mode content, quite possibly. You know, that's also an important thing right there. In any case, let's move on to Sandman. It seems to be a bit wordy on this one. Sandman arrived with the tools to handle most game modes, scaling for long fights, utility for tough mystic champs, and versatile loop options. We're happy to see that he's being used across the game modes and matchups, especially the most recent Gladiator Circuit node combo featuring regeneration. Interesting. I gotta be honest as well, that's another one. I didn't find the champion being used, I didn't find it as a defender being used. But maybe that's just down to an acquisition type thing. You know, not if you don't acquire the champion, then people don't put it on. Or maybe people didn't have the inclination to put it on. Maybe it's something I need to put into my particular like tiering list for Battlegrounds and other stuff when it comes to getting out of Victory Circuit. But also thinking about things like, you know, just strong champions in general. But there you go. That's the interesting side of things. Kabam go further. One trend we're seeing with Sandman is a large variance in performance between matchups that allow him to safely use his SP3. Good. Compared to those that require and encourage his SP1, SP2 lower than target. This is largely due to his burst damage scaling best with debuff count instead of attack rating. To bolster damage access within Sandman's more utility focused loops, we're exploring a change for his burst of physical damage that would shift their scaling from a primarily reliant on debuff count to scaling of modified attack rating. Something all of his loops can access through is unstable fury and heavy proficiencies. While we want to increase the impact of attack and lower the impact of debuff count in order to lessen the damage gap of the SP3 versus SP1, SP2 loop, we still want to preserve the identity of his SP3 loop being the largest source of damage, and its other loops holding more utility. Well, I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Like when it comes to matchups, like it may be more beneficial for the interaction that the champion throw a special 1 or special 2 versus an SP3. Because look, here's the thing, like not all fights are clear cut. And just kind of expand on what I mean by clear cut is you can't in every single fight have to throw an SP3 of a champion. It may be reliant on building, I don't know, in an event quest, the node or buffs requirements are that you can only access your Fury passives by SP rotating around an SP1 or an SP2 or a heavy attack, or not throwing a heavy attack because it will access something unique or not unique. So the situations that require that, it's not always clear cut. I think that's something to kind of note with Kabam. It's like, again, you may be dependent on if you're in, again, story mode, and the node requires you to be an SP1, SP2 rotating, but Kabam are like, nah, Sandman's a good option for this, but you need to be throwing your SP3. Yeah, but you don't build anything that you should meant to build from an SP1, SP2 loop, from an SP3 loop. You need to throw an SP1, SP2. And those are the situations that kind of become a bit, difficult with this, to kind of go, okay, well, yeah, okay, I get what Kabam is saying on this one. So I guess this is going to be down to pressure to rotate around a certain element that you might not be comfortable with. It's kind of weird with this. I mean, same thing with Shocker. As long as it doesn't impact how you want to rotate, because that's going to be another thing as well. Kabam are saying that, we see that people are rotating around SP1, SP2 type elements for Sandman and doing whatever with Shocker. We feel that we want you to do stuff our way, and it's our way or the highway. But they're obviously trying to find some kind of like medium ground with the player base and all this particular stuff. So it's always very that's very interesting. And they say, as always, we'll be closely monitoring feedback about the trade-off during the upcoming beta, so we can ensure he lands in the spot that summoners find both powerful and satisfying. How regular are these betas? Like, are they just in case these beta builds are kind of like what CCP play? Like, I thought these were meant to be like everybody gets to play. I guess not. I mean, it would be nice for this to be more of a regular thing for all players to kind of to tinker around and play with, because I think you get some good feedback from the player base. It's not just about CTP, it's about the wider community. And a lot of the times it will be people that have good ideas that are not in the CCP that could kind of review these champions, look at rotations and go, yeah, I like this. No, this is going to really affect me. Those kind of things. But as well, the interesting thing about this is the upcoming betas, changes to both Shocker and Sandman. The timeline looked like 41.1 September plus 41.2 October beta builds. Okay, 41.3 November full release with these changes. Makes me also think about old champion buffs. Really would like to see more of them. Probably got a video we're going to have to explore on that topic. I know that a few people asked me about that a long time ago. It's on my list. A lot of the time when people request ideas, it's the case I've got a long slate list of stuff that people have asked me. I will get round to it when I get round to it, but I can't promise when I get it done. And that's the thing about kind of trying to balance my time at the moment. But interesting to kind of mention this. Go and check out, I've just read it, but I'll check out the link in the description if you want to kind of go over this. Looks like slight buffs to these champions, but I'd say it's more for the Shocker side of things than it is the Sandman side of things. Sandman feels to me like Kabam are pushing a change of rotation around a community-led preference of how this, I think that's a good way of describing it. It's kind of like the community have found a better preference for how they want to play Sandman, but Kabam are saying no, we want to preserve the element of how we put this and intended this champion to go in. I think that is a pretty good kind of way to sum up how and this particular process of Sandman and Shocker. But yeah, that's been a video. I've got to get this video done, uploaded, and I've got to get to bed. I really do. Em's got to get to work early in the morning. So in any case, thanks for watching this particular video. Make sure as well to check out some other content, which will be located on screen right now. One more video today, and that's a sponsored one. And then the MCN I've already made, and that's going to be out tomorrow morning. So look out for that. Thanks, everybody. Much love. Goodbye.